I always figured if I ever got arrested at work, it'd be for something heroic like tackling a purse snatcher or setting the Guinness World Record for fastest Slurpee pour. Not for refusing to give a stranger free gas. But there I was at 9:42 on a slow Thursday morning, standing behind the counter at Leo's Fuel and Go, watching a woman with a "freedom isn't free" bumper sticker scream into her phone, telling a 911 dispatcher that she was being held hostage by a minimum wage clerk with a dangerous attitude. When the dispatcher asked if she was in immediate danger, Lorraine Becker, bless her high-octane dramatic, screamed, "He's denying my human rights," loud enough that a guy at Pump 2 ducked behind his SUV. And just like that, a normal shift turned into a sheriff visit, a viral video mess, and easily the most absurd day of my life. It had started like most Thursdays, cursed, slow, and weird. My best friend Carmen was restocking beef jerky near the beer cooler while narrating every customer like she was calling a ball game. The place smelled like burnt coffee and day-old donuts. I was restocking gum when a busted gray minivan roared into the lot, screeched to a halt across two handicapped spots, and sat idling like a storm cloud. Carmen poked her head around the corner. $5 says she asks if the air pump is free. I didn't answer. I wasn't in the mood. The driver's side door slammed open. Out strutted Lorraine, big sunglasses, lips pinched, phone already filming, swinging a massive designer purse like it was a badge of honor. She burst through the glass doors like she owned the place, marched to the counter, and slapped her palm on it. "Pump 4. Fill it. Full tank. Now." No hello. No please. No cash or card. Just pure demand. I blinked. "Sure," I said slowly. "Right after you pay." Her jaw dropped like I'd insulted the Constitution. "Excuse me? I'm a loyal customer. I always fill up here and settle up later." Carmen muffled a laugh behind a napkin. I wiped my hands on my apron and gave Lorraine my best customer service smile. "That's not a thing," I said. "Company policy. Pay before you pump." Her face turned a deep shade of offended. She whipped out her phone and pointed it at my face. "This young man is refusing service to a woman in need," she announced. "This is discrimination." Mrs. Halvorsen, one of our regulars, leaned over the coffee bar and muttered, "Discrimination against stupidity ain't a crime. Sugar." But Lorraine wasn't done. "You're gonna regret this," she snapped. "You have no idea who you're dealing with." "Oh, I think I do," Carmen chirped from behind the register. Lorraine stormed outside and, in what would later become legendary, dialed 911. Through the window, we watched her stomp around, waving one arm like she was guiding planes, eyes darting back to make sure we were watching. I should have been annoyed. But honestly, it was the most entertainment we'd had all week. $10 says it's Sheriff Nolan today, Carmen whispered. "If he gives her the talk, I'll buy lunch." I replied. The talk was infamous Sheriff Nolan's patented Karen sit-down speech. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, a cruiser rolled in. Nolan stepped out, sunglasses on, face unreadable. Lorraine ran to him, dramatic tears in full effect, pointing at the station like it was a crime scene. Sheriff Nolan walked inside, tipped his head at Mrs. Halvorsen, then turned to me. "Busy morning?" "You don't know the half of it," I said. He held up a finger, turned around, and headed back outside. We all plastered ourselves to the window. Lorraine was gesturing wildly again, miming handcuffs, clutching her chest. Nolan stood still, arms crossed. Finally, he spoke too soft for us to hear. Lorraine's face twisted. She yelled something. Nolan kept talking, calm as ever. Eventually, she shrieked something unintelligible and stormed off, tires squealing as she peeled out of the lot. Still on empty, Nolan came back in, sighed, and took off his sunglasses. "You guys really ought to start charging admission," he muttered. Carmen leaned on the counter. "She really called 911 over gas?" She said she was being economically oppressed. Mrs. Halvorsen laughed so hard she dropped her scratch-offs. But I had a sinking feeling Lorraine wasn't finished. And I was right. Less than 30 minutes later, The gray minivan returned, this time with backup. Another minivan rolled in behind her, decked out in flags and signs that read, "Justice for Lorraine." Out stepped three women wearing identical Mama Bears Unite shirts, filming everything. She brought a support group. Carmen whispered. Lorraine stormed in, clipboard in hand. "I'm filing an official complaint," she announced, slamming it onto the counter. "I have witnesses. Video evidence. You violated my civil liberties." I stayed calm. "Barely. Ma'am. We require payment before dispensing fuel. It's the law. It's not personal." "You targeted me," she hissed. "Because of my beliefs. Because of my bumper stickers." Carmen choked on her gum. "Mrs. Halvorsen rolled her eyes. Lorraine turned to her mini-army outside. He admitted it. Discrimination. One woman hooted like she was at a rodeo. It was surreal. Then, predictably, Nolan returned. No lights this time. Just his tired face and a coffee in hand. Lorraine shoved her phone at him. "I have footage. I demand a citizen's arrest." Nolan turned to me. "You threaten her?" "Nope." "Assault?" "Nope." "Detain her?" "Nope. She left. Twice." He turned back to Lorraine. "You want him arrested for refusing free gas?" "It's the principle," she shouted. "Did you pay for gas?" "No," she said proudly. Nolan sighed. "Ma'am, this isn't discrimination. It's not even a crime. You're throwing a tantrum." She shrieked. "I'll call my lawyer." "Please do. Meanwhile, I'm issuing you a citation for misuse of emergency services." Lorraine stormed out, her mama bears trailing behind her, still filming like they were chasing a scoop. By noon, Lorraine had posted the first of many Facebook videos, Gas Station Tyranny. The video got shared dozens of times. Some believed her. Others, especially locals, turned her into a meme. My phone buzzed nonstop. Someone created a parody page called Gaslight Lorraine, featuring fake testimonials like, "She once demanded free Wi-Fi at a payphone." But that evening, as I left my shift, I spotted her parked across the street. Lights off. Just watching. My stomach turned. This wasn't over. Next morning, a glittery protest sign was taped to her door. "Boycott Leos. Justice for Lorraine." Carmen handed me her phone. A live stream was already running. Lorraine and her crew were across the street, yelling at cars. One tried to throw a bag of dog poop. Missed. Hit her own windshield. Inside the store, tensions rose. People came in, filming us. A woman asked loudly, "Is the fascist working today?" Carmen handed her a coffee sample and smiled. "Would you like a complimentary oppression pastry with that?" Then came the official investigators. Two guys in wrinkled suits barged in with laminated ID cards clearly printed at home. "We're from the Consumer Accountability Board," one said. Carmen raised an eyebrow. "You mean the ones with mandatory duck dance filings?" "What?" She pulled a paper from the drawer. "Section 3, all complaints must be submitted with a ceremonial duck dance." They blinked. Carmen flapped her arms and quacked. Mrs. Halvorsen dropped her soda laughing. The agents backed out in silence. For a moment, all was calm until Marty arrived. "What the hell is going on?" he barked. "The chamber's calling. Insurance agents. This is a disaster." I tried to explain. He didn't care. "Fix it, or you're suspended." And just like that, I was benched. Carmen looked furious. "You know," she said, "if Lorraine wants a war." I nodded. "Let's give her one." Operation Expose Lorraine began with one text. Carmen messaged the mayor's niece. 10 minutes later, Mayor Kendrick's SUV pulled into the lot. Lorraine seized her moment. Finally, she cried, "Someone who'll stand for truth." Mayor Kendrick stepped out, squinting at the chaos. "Lorraine Becker, right?" he said. "Yes. I'm leading the resistance." "You're the one who tried to sue over tomato prices at the farmer's market?" The crowd giggled and canceled the Christmas parade over Santa propaganda. Laughter erupted. Phones came out. "Folks, The mayor said, Leo's has been part of this town for 20 years. I know these employees. This isn't injustice. This is Lorraine being Lorraine. Applause broke out. Lorraine turned bright red. Her supporters began retreating. You can't do this, she yelled. By all means. Kendrick said, take it to court. She stood frozen, then turned, fled to her van, and sped off for the final time. Back inside. The mayor bought gum and nodded. You handled yourselves well, he said. This town remembers things. The fallout came quickly. Lorraine's video disappeared. The memes flourished. Someone posted a mock GoFundMe, fill Lorraine's tank so she'll leave. Later, Marty returned. Sheepish. Here, he muttered, sliding a $50 bill across the counter. Thanks for not burning the place down. I took it. A win was a win. That night, Carmen and I sat on the curb, sipping sodas. We should start an awards show, she said. Best meltdown. Best bullhorn abuse. I laughed. To surviving Lorraine. We clinked cans. The war was over. And if another Lorraine came calling, we were more than ready. This wasn't the story I expected to live, but it was one I'd tell forever. And something told me Lorraine wouldn't be back anytime soon.